My name is William Schmidt, and I was born in Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. And as a boy, I was raised in Southern California in a little town called Laguna Beach, which is an artist colony. I started traveling around 12, 13 years old, going hitchhiking around the state, down into Mexico, and really started my experience living abroad in Mexico, where I worked in the cotton fields and talked my way into the University of Mexico, the National University, and spent a semester there. And went back and traveled across the United States of America. I actually hitchhiked across there 4 times, living in the bigger cities, working my way in farms, things like that. I was privileged to march with Dr. Martin Luther King in the 60s for civil rights. And I joined the Merchant Marines, ended up in Vietnam. Had some bad experiences there, you know, and came back to America. Couldn't really accept the way it was in America with that type of a war going on. People weren't that interested in it. It's been going on for some time. Started to doubt what I'd seen there. So I went back again and had some more bad experiences. And when I got back to the States, I decided I didn't want to support that anymore. So I went to Canada, where I bought an old Newfoundland fishing schooner and spent 3 years rebuilding it, getting it back up. I cut a black spruce out of the Canadian forest and planed it down by hand on the side of a small harbor. Got to know a lot of old salts, you know, men that had sailed on those boats and came and visited with me. It was fantastic. The Canadian money has a picture of the blue nose on it, and my boat looked just like that. It was the Walter and Mamie, classic Newfoundland schooner, 60 feet long. And Captain Lawrence Allen from Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, the dory shop, he was the first mate of the real blue nose, and he cast my lines off when I left to look for a place where I could live in the Caribbean, I thought. I ended up here in Belize, 1970, and because it was what I was looking for, I sold the boat, and I lived behind town at the edge of the jungle, and built a house out of sticks and leaves, the way the locals do. The neighbors and the edge of the town helped me build this house, taught me how to do it, and I cleared 6 acres of jungle with a machete and an axe with their help and their instruction. That's 2 acres is called a manzana, so we call that 3 manzanas. And then I planted it with a sharp stick, and the way they plant their corn and rice and beans traditionally, the Mayans have done that for thousands of years. So we planted it that way, and then I harvested it that way. And we dug a hole in the ground for our water, and we lived off the land for quite a while that way, off farming. I had a small dugout canoe that I would fish with the Garifuna people in town. Go out and drop line fish and dive for conchs and lobsters, and I lived that way for a few years with the local people, the Mayans teaching me how to farm and about their culture, and the Garifuna teaching me how to fish and about their culture.